Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to our series Witch Life and the Mirror. And this week we're going to look in the mirror and we're going to be assessing our strengths and weaknesses. I promise you this will not be as horrible as what it might sound at first. But witchcraft doesn't really allow practitioners to rest on their laurels, does it? Because no matter how extensive someone's knowledge is, or how deep their understanding, or how broad their experience is, no one will ever know it all. No one at all. So there's always room to grow. There's always ways to improve. There's always ways to become more skilled and more competent. So it's time to take stock. In what areas of practice have we attained competency? And are there areas in which we can honestly claim that we have mastered? Being honest. And this is the part that's a little less fun, but it's very, very necessary to us, is what things within the craft are we absolute rubbish at? And what avenues have we yet to even begun our studies? And I think it's important to become a well-rounded practitioner. Even if we do have a primary area of focus and speciality, we need to have a good, broad understanding of the craft generally, at least so much as what's within our capability of doing so. You know, I've said in many other videos, don't be just a one-trick pony. Don't be just able to do one thing. Expand your it doesn't hurt to expand your field of experience or your field of knowledge. You can still focus on this one thing that you're really, really passionate about, but you can still be a good, solid practitioner in other areas as well. So let's begin with the good stuff. When it comes to our magical strengths, are we making good use of them? So let's all think about for a moment about where we're strongest in the craft. What are we really best at? And ask ourselves, could we explain in straightforward terms the essence of this area of the craft to a new practitioner if someone called upon us to do so? Do we think that we understand it enough or that we're experienced enough to actually teach someone else, whether it's in a formal a seminar kind of class setup, or if it's more of a mentor-mentee type of relationship, or just in common casual conversation in which witches are getting together and comparing notes, or someone just brings something up, do you have something to contribute to the conversation that you can clearly articulate? So, the things that we're good at, what's involved in taking that knowledge and that skill to the next level? We're here, we're getting pretty good. We have nothing to be ashamed of ourselves in this result. How do we go up another steps? And in very practical terms, are we using our strengths in the craft to actually improve our lives and improve our households? Because if we have ourselves and our household in order, that's probably the biggest contribution to society any of us can make, because we're not going off the rails. We're not contributing to the insanity. We are an oasis in which things are going properly, in which things are in a healthy condition. And that's really where we need to start anyway, whether we're talking about the craft or any other aspect of life. Do we have ourselves in order? Do we have the household in order? Are we actually using our knowledge to do something proactive about it? So that's it for the strengths. Now for, the not at all fun area of weaknesses. So let's start with the question of, have we accepted the challenge of improving our magical weaknesses? And again, this isn't as much fun, but think about the area and the craft in which you are the weakest. Just, the absolute worst of the worst. Have you discerned what the main obstacle is? And just to throw one of my own weaknesses out there, scrying. Worst you've ever seen. I make attempts. I have an actual crystal ball. I do try to work on this, but the reality is that it is an area in which I have not made any real significant progress to date. And, I don't enjoy admitting that, just as, anyone else watching this video who's thinking about their own magical weaknesses doesn't enjoy admitting to themselves what they're not particularly good at. But we shouldn't be afraid of it. We shouldn't be afraid of the fact that we're not universally good and perfect at everything, because no one is. And the only way we grow is to start being honest about what we're bad at. So try not to feel embarrassed. There is no cause for embarrassment. No one is good at everything, and the people who claim to be it, I'm sorry, they're liars. Even if they're not intending to lie to other people, they are at the very least lying to themselves. You scratch the surface, you're going to find areas of weaknesses. You're going to find areas in which, they are, probably significantly behind the rest of the crowd. That isn't, an indictment against anyone. It's simply the reality of human existence. So let go of the idea that you need to be a prodigy in order to be legitimate. Let go of the idea that you have to be universally good at everything in order to count. All that's really needed is that we make reasonable efforts to improve. So once we've identified these areas, let's pick one. Pick one to try and improve and give ourselves a year. So for each month of the year, pick something in witchcraft where you could stand to improve. Things could be better, and try different techniques to try and make progress with it. Because even if you have only very modest results, you will still have made progress and you will be better off than you were before. And sometimes progress is having a better understanding of what exactly the issue is. For example, with me, with scrying, it has a lot to do with issues of control, which is not something I experience when I'm reading tarot or the Ogham or runes. With those, I'm tapping into the energies. I'm asking very specific questions. I know what I'm looking for. I can kind of, latch onto the right stream in order to get me where I need to go. With scrying, I would really need to allow myself to be caught up in the overall current, to not be worried about what the general direction of where that current is going, and just allow myself to land wherever that current happens to wash me up. That's very difficult. And that's something I can work at. But I wouldn't know to work at that if I hadn't first admitted to myself that I suck. I absolutely suck at scrying. So I realize this isn't a fun thing for us, but it is the only way we make progress, move forward, and grow. So I would encourage you to go ahead, take a look in the mirror, see where you're strong, see where you want to kind of take things to the next level, and also see where you're weak. See where you're like, I just need to be better than what I was before. I don't have to be an expert. I just need to make an improvement. And if you do make the effort to make that improvement, I promise you, even if the results aren't what you dreamed they were, they will still be good, worthwhile results. It's definitely worth your time. And of course, with more people making that effort to become better practitioners, to become more well versed in our craft, that improves the state of the craft as a whole. It makes our conversations with one another a lot more productive. And when the time comes and we need to lend that helping hand to someone else, we'll actually have some useful information to convey. So it's all part of the sacred circle of helping each other out, feeding our community, improving ourselves, and just making things better. Making things better for ourselves as practitioners, and making the craft more effective at what it's intended to do. So, if you have thoughts on that, or if you would just like someone to hold your hand, you feel very welcome to come to Blackbird's Brew on Discord. There's a link to join in the description box below. I promise you there will be an understanding, listening ear as you struggle with trying to move forward in some aspect perhaps that you're not comfortable in. But in the meantime, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment on the video, like it, and I will see you next time. Bye.